Got this 2013 Toyota RAV4 with blown speakers. The front door speakers are blown, especially this driver's side one. It's rattling really bad. So I picked up these. I'm going to show you how quickly and easily we can throw these in. Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix It Man. Got another quick video here for you. I'm going to show you how to change your front door speakers in a 2013 Toyota RAV4. Now, I don't know what happened, but this is one of my kids' cars, and they said that their friend turned it way up, and anyway, this speaker rattles really bad. This is what it sounds like now. So you can hear that the bass is, of course, rattling really bad. These speakers are blown. Of course, we'll get that changed out, and that'll sound a lot better here in just a little bit. Now, these are the speakers I'm using. They're just some pretty inexpensive Pioneer speakers, 6.5 inch, and they come with a little wiring harness or some wires here for the speakers, but I upgraded to these Toyota adapters from Metra. These are supposed to just plug right in. We'll see how they work, and you'll need a couple trim tools and a screwdriver to remove that panel. Now, you're going to need a drill because the factory speakers are riveted in, so we're going to have to drill those out, and then just a little Phillips to install the new speakers as well. Now, I also went with these speaker adapters for Toyota from Metra. I just didn't want to risk these ones sticking out too far and running into the window or having any interference, and this is recommended to avoid that, or at least avoid the chance of that. So let me take you back over to the car and we'll get started. All right, so first we need to take off this door panel, and that's pretty simple. I'm going to start up here at the top. This little triangle piece just pulls straight off. See, it's got these two little snaps, and then this little plastic piece behind the handle will come out. Just pry that out. Now we have one screw right here we need to take out. I'm using a JIS screwdriver, but Phillips will usually work just fine. Now this little piece right here, we'll get in here with a little trim tool. You can also use your fingernail to help get it started. I'm just going to pull this out. That bottom piece is hooked in. The rest of these just pull straight out. Now we have two screws that we need to take out in these deep recesses. Not this one or this one, the ones that are in here. Let me get a magnet to pull that out. Now we can pop out this window control. Just slide underneath in the front and then pop it up. And then we need to unplug this. Just slide this back and then it'll pop right out. Now we can go around the perimeter here and use one of these trim tools, pop these snaps out of the door. Once you get a few, you can just grab it with your hands and pull it the rest of the way off. See, now it's loose. So now we can lift the door panel off. Now we're still connected here. Now you see here this blue connector, this is for your seat adjuster. Just pull that one out. And then these two cables are for the lock and for the door handle. But you can either pull the cables out, or if you're careful, you can just slide this entire assembly out. It just clips here at the top and the bottom. There we go. Now we can set this door panel out of the way. All right, so now we need to change this speaker out, and all we need to do is disconnect it right here. Just press in on this little white tab and pull it out. And you can see these are not screwed in, these are riveted in, so you are gonna need to drill out these rivets. Just grab a drill and a decent sized bit here, and we'll just try to drill these out. Now these rivets have these little plastic pieces. Looks like those are still holding the speaker in place. So I'm going to drill through those as well. There we go. Okay, and there's the old speaker. And that's no good. Just fishing the rest of these little rivet pieces out just so that they don't rattle or make noise in the door. There it is. We got all three of the little drilled out rivet pieces out. Just don't want to risk those making noise or rattling around inside. Now I know some people will just take this old speaker and cut out the speaker material and just drill the new speaker inside. That might work just fine, but you know, these adapters right here are pretty inexpensive and it just makes this whole thing go a lot cleaner, a lot easier. So I'm happy I picked them up. They come with all the screws and hardware that you need to install. So let's go ahead and put these adapters in. We just got to line them up. Make sure that you can find 3 holes that will work. In our case, it's going to be these main holes, and I think I'm going to just have to break this tab off right here because this bolt is in the way. I tried rotating it, but these are not symmetrical, so they don't line up if I spin it that way, and they don't line up this way either. So it looks like this is the way we need to install it. Go ahead and get these all started. So we broke off the little tab there. And now this sits nice and flat up against the door. You know, I think I'll just break this tab off too, just so that it matches, right? Probably doesn't matter, nothing in the way. Now it's probably not important, but I decided to break this tab off here too. Just looks a little bit cleaner. By the way, the part number on that adapter is 82-8148. Now for these little speaker harnesses, the part number is 728104. This is what it looks like. Again, that's just designed to be plugged into the factory connector here. Let's see if it works. Looks like it's gonna work perfectly. Then we're just gonna feed this through the adapter. Looks like they fit one at a time. Then we're gonna just connect the back of our speaker here. That's a nice solid connection there. I'm just going to use the screws that came with the speaker. And there's already pre-drilled holes here, so this should be pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and test this and make sure that everything sounds good. Well, the rattle is gone. Well, there you go. No more rattle. Well, quite the difference there. Let's go ahead and button this back up and put the door panel back on. All right, so I am gonna just tape these wires here to this other harness. I just feel a little bit better about that, just so that they're not gonna get in the way of anything in the door panel or rattle around too much. That right there looks good. Now we can grab the door panel and put that back on. All right, so remember we need to put our door handle back in, and that's pretty simple. You see this part right here, just line that up and press it in. There it is. Now that didn't make a really loud snap when it went in, but it's in. You can pull back on it and it's holding on. So we can reconnect the seat adjuster here and then make sure that this goes through. All right, just make sure you grab the connector on your way up here. Now, just a quick note, you see these snaps right here that are in the door panel. You do need to make sure that they all come off with the door. A lot of times these holes right here will have a snap in them and you'll need to take that out and put it back in the door panel. But for us, they all stayed on the door panel. But now we can hook this up on the door and press it down. Now here I like to eyeball the door at the sides to make sure that we get those snaps lined up and then go around and push them all on. All right, that's it. All right, then we can put the 2 large screws in through these big holes here. And then remember, we have this smaller screw up here at the top, right behind the door handle. Now we can reconnect our switch. Now this part here is kind of tricky. You do need to slide this collar back in order to get that to go in. So just kind of carefully push the wires in and the base in, just like that. And then slide the outer collar in and give it a little tug to make sure that it's connected. That looks good. And you see we have these little tabs right here. So just line all those up and press it down and it snaps in place. Now we got this trim piece here. It's kind of a boomerang looking shape. Just remember, this one hooks in and then you can go through and snap it in. just like that. This little piece just snaps in place behind the door handle. A lot of times these are missing. There we go. And then our last piece is this little triangle piece at the top. Just make sure these snaps are on there. Line that up. And you're done. Now, of course, we just need to go do the other side. Now, I'm not going to show the whole process on the passenger side, but I did want to point out the only difference is the connector here on the window switch. It's just a lock and a switch. So you just need to disconnect these two. Everything else is the same. Now, I said the only difference was the connector here, but also when you take out this door handle, you'll notice that there's also no power seat control because this passenger seat does not have a power seat control, at least not in this one. But everything else is the same. Real excited to get this one done and go out and see how this sounds. Definitely a big improvement over stock, but I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. And of course, I'll get a link in the description to all the parts and tools, including the speakers and those adapters and the speaker harness, everything else that I used as well. Thanks so much for watching and good luck.